There is a supplement that doesn't just accumulate in your skin, giving you a healthy, colorful glow, but may also help protect your skin from the sun, almost like an oral sunscreen. This is astaxanthin, and it's created by an algae called Haematococcus pluvialis, which is adapted to extreme sun exposure by creating its own protective pigment. And when we consume astaxanthin, it builds up in our skin, providing us another layer of sun protection that isn't equally as effective as SPF, but it can't be rubbed off. And this is important because you can clearly see under UV camera that sunscreen has a problem. It doesn't matter if it's SPF 100, if it can be rubbed, scratched, licked, or toweled off. And taking this little pill containing an extract of the hundreds of trillions of algae at my feet in ponds like this one may be part of the solution. I'm going to explain to you what these algae are, how they evolved to make their own sunscreen, and why you may want to harness their natural sun protection to protect your own skin. These are Haematococcus pluvialis, and I've come all the way to an algae farm in Kona, Hawaii to infiltrate their labs.
This is your little Frankenstein experiment.
And to show you how these little blessings of evolution may provide you another layer of sun support. Due to these limitations of sunscreen, guidelines have always included additional measures. And if you've ever been to Australia where the sun is particularly deadly, then you may have heard the mantra slip, slap, slop. Slip on protective clothing, slap on a hat, and slop on SPF. But I'd like to propose another S. Swallow, because these algae may have evolved a natural defense against UV rays to survive in temporary puddles of water that we may be able to use to support our own skin. Let's take a closer look. They swim and thrive and multiply in fresh water.
You think they ever get bored of spinning around in circles?
Absolutely not.
You can tell they don't have a brain, you know?
Well, they have a little bit of a brain. Yeah, they'll phototext to the side of the well if you put a light there.
But it's different
That's
than
it. That's all they'll do.
than our intelligence.
But when that puddle starts drying out, they form a carotenoid-rich cyst that waits around under a barrage of direct sun for that next rain to come.
Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Not anymore, there's a blanket.
Here is Court Ward, the Director of Research and Development at Nutrex Hawaii, to glaze these little guys in even more detail.
So Haematococcus starts out its life cycle as a small green flagellated cell. So it has two little flagella and it uses that to swim around. And as time goes on, it consumes all the nutrients in whatever media or water it's growing in. And its response to that is to prepare itself for a period of dormancy.
And while they're dormant, one way they protect their genome from getting absolutely torn to shreds by UV radiation is by producing the antioxidant pigment, astaxanthin.
It'll undergo carotenogenesis and encystment. So carotenogenesis, it'll start producing carotenoids, primarily astaxanthin.
In this dormant state, why does it make astaxanthin?
So there's a few reasons. Primarily, it's there to protect its genome from UV damage, but it's also there to help keep it from desiccating, from drying out. And it also serves as a little bit of a quick energy source for when it does find itself in more hospitable conditions, so it can kind of boot itself right back up.
So we took some young green Haematococcus and tortured them with my UV lamp to demonstrate to you how they scramble to survive by producing their own protective pigment to ultraviolet radiation.
That big boy?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we like.
And then when animals like us eat this protective pigment, we accumulate it in our skin, feathers, and exoskeletons. It is one of the carotenoids that turns the otherwise white flamingo bird pink. I previously made a video about how taking carotenoids added healthy color to my skin. From this to the color you see now, without letting any harmful aging sunlight touch my skin. But astaxanthin may also support your skin in the sun. Like in this study where they gave people astaxanthin supplements for 10 weeks and found that it took more UV radiation to burn the people who took the astaxanthin supplements versus the controls who didn't. And astaxanthin hasn't just been shown to prevent sunburn, it has also been shown to reduce markers of DNA damage in the skin after UV exposure, suggesting that astaxanthin could potentially reduce the risk of skin cancer, although more research with skin cancer as a specific outcome is needed. And don't get me wrong, the protection you get from astaxanthin is measurable, but it does not compare to the protection you get from sunscreen, and it should never be used as an alternative to SPF. In fact, everyone here at the algae farm takes astaxanthin.
I take 12 milligrams a day.
12 milligrams a day.
But nonetheless, here we are reapplying sunscreen mid-shoot to protect ourselves from the fierce Hawaiian winter sun. Personally, I wear sunscreen every day of my life, rain or shine, and I wear protective clothing when I can. But especially when I'm out on the beach or in the water, I can't cover every inch of my body in protective clothing, and I can't always reapply often enough. And I was wearing scrubs. What do you think about that?
That's the first time I've ever seen anyone surf in scrubs.
So it is highly valuable for me to have even a weak layer of redundant protection that lasts all day and can't be wiped off. And if it gives my skin some healthy color too to hide my vampiric lifestyle, that's even better. So I will continue to slip, slap, slop, and swallow. And thanks again to Bioastin for letting me visit. I had so much fun roaming around. What? This is nice. Seeing the extraction and purification process. Seeing the seahorse farm here at Nelhab.
Perfect. So the thing with sea monkeys.
Not good.
Delicious, right?
I mean, the saltiness is too salty, I
Very
think. You gotta rinse it off a little bit. That's obviously very relevant and important to this video, and seeing how passionate everyone is here,
So we're on track. How many?
because that's how I am with my businesses. If you're interested in their made in Hawaii astaxanthin, which is the product I've been taking since way before I ever became an influencer, then click the link below to buy. Of course, there are other producers of astaxanthin, but be careful out there, as I've been testing other astaxanthin products for an upcoming video and found that many of them contain less than the labeled amount of astaxanthin, some containing no astaxanthin at all. Sub for that video about fake supplements and how to improve absorption so you get the most out of the astaxanthin and other carotenoids you pay for. And for an upcoming video about additional supplements and foods in my complete sun protection stack to get even better results. Links and scientific sources at avivacarter.com. Okay, bye!